school buildings. In these places, indoor toxins, chemicals, and bacteria get trapped and recirculated throughout the heating and air conditioning systems of these structures and may create a much greater health risk. Today's buildings are much more airtight and well insulated than they were years ago, making them vaults for germs, bacteria, and chemical toxins. Think you're safer because your office building is new? Well, I hate to be the one to inform you, but you couldn't be more wrong. Volatile organic chemicals such as benzene, styrene, carbon tetrachloride, and other chemicals are as much as 100 times greater in new buildings compared to the levels found outdoors. New buildings are the worst. Building materials emit gases into the air through a process known as outgassing. New carpets release formaldehyde. Paints release solvents such as toluene and formaldehyde. And furniture made from pressed wood releases formaldehyde into the air as well. Have you been experiencing headaches that get more severe at work? Are your eyes itchy, red, and watery? What about a sore throat, dizziness, nausea, and problems concentrating? These are just a few of the many symptoms associated with sick building syndrome. Other symptoms of sick building syndrome include nasal congestion, shortness of breath, problems with memory and concentration, fatigue, and itching. In addition, carpet glues, as well as particle board, which is also made from glues and chemicals that contain formaldehyde, commonly cause both fatigue and headaches. Are you breathing in bacteria, mold, and yeast? Sick building syndrome is not only caused by new materials. Airborne mold, bacteria, and poisons given off by yeast can also cause sick building syndrome. Many people remember the mysterious deaths in 1976 of 182 Legionnaires who were staying at a Philadelphia hotel while attending a conference. It was later determined that this group of people contracted pneumonia from Legionella bacteria that had contaminated the hotel's air conditioning system. Before this event, occurrences of sick building syndrome were virtually unheard of. Nevertheless, many, if not most, air conditioning units and heating systems contain some amount of mold. Significant amounts are frequently found in them, and the spores from that mold can travel throughout the building. Pesticide pollution. Dampness is not the only danger to a healthful indoor environment. Dangerous indoor pollution is also created with an ever-increasing use of pesticides, which can be found in some really surprising products. Believe it or not, pesticides can be found in disposable diapers, shampoos, air fresheners, mattresses, and carpets. You are being exposed to pesticides every day. You may even have had your home sprayed regularly with pesticides to control bugs. The most common pesticides in use today are of a variety called organophosphates. This group includes diazinon. Pesticides are easily absorbed into your body through contact with your skin, by breathing them into your lungs and ingesting them through your mouth. Even though your body is designed to eliminate such dangerous poisons, the sheer amount of them that you encounter daily is far more than your body was ever designed to deal with. Therefore, pesticides, their metabolites, and other dangerous toxins eventually build up in your body over time. And the greater the buildup, the more difficult it becomes for your body to eliminate them. When such residue of pesticides builds up in your body, you can begin to experience the following symptoms or diseases: memory loss, depression, anxiety, psychosis, other forms of mental illness, Parkinson's, and other forms of neurological degeneration, possibly hormone-sensitive cancers such as breast and prostate cancer. Are you being forced to inhale secondhand smoke? Another powerful offender is cigarette smoke. The smoke from a burning cigarette, as it sits lit in an ashtray, contains a higher toxic concentration of gases than what the smoker actually inhales. Secondhand cigarette smoke contains cadmium, cyanide, lead, arsenic, tars, radioactive material, dioxin, which is a toxic pesticide, carbon monoxide, hydrogen cyanide, nitrogen oxides, nicotine, sulfur oxides, and about 4,000 other chemicals. Toxins in our food and land. Pesticides continue to be sprayed onto our land, subsequently making their way into our food supply. As we eat pesticide-tainted fruits and vegetables, and especially fatty meats, pesticides become stored in our fatty tissues, which not only include our adipose tissue, but also the brain, the breasts, and the prostate gland. Some of these dangerous substances are known to last for hundreds and even thousands of years before breaking down. DDT is an example of a chemical that doesn't break down. It was used in this country on a large scale from the early 1940s to 1972. It is an extremely dangerous poison that was banned in 1972 due to its devastating effect on wildlife, causing multiple abnormalities in the eggshells of many birds and deformities of reproductive organs of many other animals. In 1962, environmentalist Rachel Carson wrote a book called Silent Spring, which demonstrated the toxic and deadly effect that DDT has on our food chain. Carson warned us that if pesticides could have such harmful and dramatic effects on animals and birds, then their effects upon humans would be no different. Dairy products are one of the main sources of DDT in our diets, and freshwater fish is usually tainted with DDT and PCBs. Waxes that don't wash off. No doubt you've tried to wash off a shiny red apple or a dark green cucumber, only to find that it was covered with a layer of waxy film that's nearly impossible to wash off. Most of these waxes, however, contain powerful pesticides or fungicides that have been added to keep the food from spoiling. These waxes are made to stay on, not wash off. Nevertheless, if you want to stay healthy, remove them. Pesticides in animal feed. Not only can heavy concentration of pesticides be found in the fruits and vegetables we eat, but they're also in animal feed. Therefore, our meat supply ends up tainted with pesticides too. Toxic fat? Are you overweight, even a little? Your body is designed to eliminate toxins you eat, but when pesticides are not broken down and eliminated from your body, they become stored in your fatty tissues. Consider those love handles a hiding place for stored toxins and poisons. In other words, fat is usually toxic too. Since your brain is composed of about 60% fat, some of these poisons will end up being stored in it, as well as in the breasts, prostate gland, and any other fatty tissue in the body. In the brain. Many of those suffering with neurological diseases probably have higher levels of pesticides stored in their brains and other fatty tissues. Have you ever gone on a diet only to find that you feel more forgetful, foggy-minded, and fatigued? When you diet, those pesticides stored in your fatty tissues can be released and may be deposited in the fatty tissue of the brain. You see, often the liver is unable to break down and eliminate adequately the pesticides that have been liberated from your fatty tissues. This can send even more of these residues to the brain as they seek a place to be stored. Toxins in our water. Most chemicals that have been emitted into our air, sprayed on our farmlands, or dumped into our landfills will eventually end up in our water. Rains wash these chemicals out of the air and off our land into our lakes and rivers. Groundwater supplies drinking water for approximately half of the people in America. Often, municipalities treat groundwater with aluminum to remove organic material, and traces of aluminum remain in the drinking water. Chlorine is added to the water to kill microorganisms. Chlorine can also combine with organic materials to form trihalomethanes, which are cancer-promoting substances. We increase our risk of developing bladder and rectal cancer by drinking chlorinated water. Although chlorine kills most bacteria, it does not kill viruses and parasites. Parasites include protozoa, such as amoeba, Giardia, and Cryptosporidium. You may be drinking them in your own water. Chemical chaos in wildlife. Pesticides, solvents, industrial chemicals, industrial waste, petroleum products, and thousands of other chemicals are already extracting a terrible toll on our wildlife. Nevertheless, if the poisoning of our planet by all these pesticides isn't enough to create alarm, they're not the only environmental toxins your body must battle. Solvents found in cleaners may also contain dangerous poisons as well. The dangers of solvents. Solvents, which are chemicals used in cleaning products, are everywhere. Solvents are chemicals that dissolve other materials that otherwise would not be soluble in water. Solvents can injure your kidney and liver. They can also depress the elaborate central nervous system of your body. Like pesticides, solvents are fat-soluble, which simply means that they're likely to be stored in your fatty tissues, including, of course, your brain. Solvents have the ability to dissolve into the membranes of your cells, especially your fat cells, and accumulate there. Not only are we exposed to pesticides and solvents, but our bodies must battle about 3,000 different chemical food additives. Food additives and flavorings. Food additives are a long list of chemical substances that are added to your food for flavor, color, to make it last longer, and a host of other reasons. The largest group of food additives is the flavorings. Most of these flavoring agents are synthetic versions made from chemicals. Another group of food additives include color